There's a strange paradox in modern life. We're busier than ever before, working longer hours, juggling multiple responsibilities, and yet many of us feel like we're not making real financial progress. We're exhausted, our calendars are full, but our bank accounts don't reflect all that effort. Today, we're going to talk about something I call the time trap, the hidden reason why being busy doesn't actually lead to wealth, and why the hardest working people often struggle the most financially. If you've ever felt like you're running on a treadmill, working constantly but not getting ahead, this video is for you. Let's start with a simple question. What does it mean to be productive? Most of us have been taught that productivity means being busy, filling our schedules, responding to emails immediately, working late, taking on extra shifts, saying yes to every opportunity that comes our way. We wear busyness like a badge of honor. "I'm so busy" has become a status symbol, a way of signaling that we're important, that we're working hard, that we're doing something meaningful with our lives. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Busyness and productivity are not the same thing. In fact, they're often opposites. Being busy means your time is full. Being productive means your time is creating value. And when it comes to building wealth, that distinction is everything. Think about it this way. You can spend 8 hours a day answering emails, attending meetings, and completing tasks that other people have assigned to you. You'll be exhausted at the end of the day. You'll feel like you worked hard. But did you move closer to financial freedom? Did you build anything that will generate income next month, next year, or 10 years from now? Probably not. This is the first layer of the time trap, confusing motion with progress. Now let's talk about the fundamental transaction most of us make, trading time for money. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. You work 40 hours, you get paid for 40 hours. It's straightforward, it's predictable, and it's how most of the world operates. But there's a ceiling built into this model, and it's the reason why working harder doesn't always mean earning more. There are only 24 hours in a day. Even if you work every single one of them, which obviously you can't, there's a maximum amount you can earn. Your income is capped by the number of hours you can physically work. This is what I call linear income. 1 hour equals 1 unit of money. More hours equals more money, but only up to a point. The problem is that this model keeps you trapped, because to maintain your income, you have to keep showing up, keep trading your time. The moment you stop working, the money stops coming in. Now contrast that with how wealthy people think about money. They don't ask, "How many hours can I work?" They ask, "How can I create value that isn't tied to my time?" They build systems, they invest in assets, they create products or businesses that can generate income whether they're working or not. This is exponential income, income that can grow without a proportional increase in your time. The time trap happens when you're so busy working for linear income that you never have time to build exponential income. Here's where things get really interesting. Every hour you spend being busy is an hour you're not spending on something else. Economists call this opportunity cost, the value of what you give up when you make a choice. When you work overtime to earn an extra few $100s, what are you giving up? Maybe it's time you could have spent learning a new skill, time you could have used to start a side project, time to network, to read, to think strategically about your financial future. Those invisible losses add up. Over years, they compound into a massive gap between where you are and where you could have been. I want you to imagine two people. Both work full-time jobs, both are capable and hardworking. Person A works 50 to 60 hours a week. They take every overtime shift available. They're always busy, always stressed, but they're making decent money. They come home exhausted and spend their evenings recovering, maybe watching TV or scrolling through their phone. Person B works 40 hours a week. They're disciplined about their time. In the evenings and on weekends, they spend 5 to 10 hours learning about investing, building a small online business, or developing skills that could increase their earning potential. Fast forward 5 years, person A is still working the same job, maybe with a modest raise. They've been busy every single day, but their financial situation hasn't fundamentally changed. Person B has built something. Maybe it's a portfolio of investments generating passive income. Maybe it's a side business that now brings in an extra $1,000 a month. Maybe they developed expertise that allowed them to switch to a higher-paying career. Same starting point, different approach to time, radically different financial outcomes. This is the core of the time trap. Busyness feels productive, but it crowds out the activities that actually build wealth. So why do we fall into this trap? Why do we keep ourselves so busy when deep down we know it's not leading anywhere? Part of it is cultural. We live in a society that glorifies hustle culture, that tells us if we're not exhausted, we're not working hard enough. Rest feels like laziness. Saying no feels like missing out. But there's something deeper going on too. Busyness is comfortable. It's familiar. When you're busy, you don't have to confront the bigger, scarier questions. Questions like, am I on the right path? Is this job really where I should be investing my energy? What do I actually want my life to look like? Busyness gives us a sense of control and purpose, even if it's an illusion. It protects us from uncertainty. As long as we're moving, we can tell ourselves we're making progress. But real financial progress requires something uncomfortable. It requires stepping back, creating space, and making deliberate choices about where your time and energy go. It requires saying no to things that keep you busy but don't move you forward. So how do you escape the time trap? How do you shift from being busy to being wealthy? It starts with a fundamental shift in how you think about time and money. First, audit your time honestly. For 1 week, track exactly where your time goes, not where you think it goes, but where it actually goes. You might be surprised by how much time disappears into low-value activities, reactive tasks, or things that feel urgent but aren't important. Second, identify high-leverage activities. These are activities that create lasting value, learning a skill that increases your earning potential, building relationships that open doors, investing money or time into assets that will grow, creating something that can generate income without requiring your constant presence. These activities don't feel urgent. They don't give you the immediate hit of accomplishment that answering 50 emails does, but they're the activities that change your financial trajectory. Third, protect time for these high-leverage activities. Treat them like appointments you can't cancel. This might mean working less, not more. It might mean earning slightly less in the short term to create space for long-term growth. And fourth, shift your identity from being busy to being intentional. Stop measuring your worth by how full your calendar is. Start measuring it by whether your time is aligned with your values and your financial goals. This isn't about being lazy or working less for the sake of it. It's about being strategic. It's about recognizing that your time is your most valuable asset and spending it in ways that actually build wealth. The time trap is one of the most powerful forces keeping people from financial freedom. It's invisible, socially acceptable, and it feels like the right thing to do. But here's what I want you to remember. Being busy is not the same as being productive, and working hard is not the same as working smart. Wealth isn't built by filling every hour of your day. It's built by using your time to create things that compound, systems that scale, and assets that grow. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed, exhausted, and wondering why you're not getting ahead financially, ask yourself, am I trapped in busyness or am I building something real? Your financial future depends on the answer. Thanks for watching. If this video changed the way you think about time and money, consider subscribing. And if you found it helpful, share it with someone who might need to hear this message. I'll see you in the next one.